Hello YouTube, Freddy Cardona here. Welcome back to another driving and the news video for Wednesday, April 19th, 2023. Hopefully you guys have done your taxes already, gotten your refunds or made your payments on this Wednesday. We've got Old Glory there on the left. Always love to catch the flag on my channel. All right, let's get you the news. Just so you know, the reason I do this is so that the news doesn't get lost to history. So let's check it out.
At 92.3 FM, you give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning, 46 degrees. It is 8:40 on this Wednesday, April 19th. I'm Susan Richard, and here's what's happening. Still no word what caused yesterday's fatal garage collapse in Lower Manhattan, but we do know that the structure had several open violations. Another abortion ruling expected today from the Supreme Court. Fox News settling out of court and admitting to lying to viewers about voting machines used in the 2020 presidential election. The daughter of boxing legend Muhammad Ali talking to 1010 Wins about this Saturday's Parkinson's Unity Walk in Central Park. And it's a happy ending for a 5-year-old dog who was this close to being euthanized. In sports, Rangers took game 1 of their playoff series against the Devils. Knicks lost to the Cavaliers in Cleveland. That series now tied at a game apiece. Yanks and Mets both lost. AccuWeather, partly sunny, a breezy day, and a high of 65. Wednesday news time 8:41. Traffic and transit. Here's Sue Aller.
Still jam-packed in Queens on the Van Wyck on the southbound side with a crash taking down 2 lanes at Hillside Avenue. Another accident further south at Rockaway Boulevard in the center lane. And it's stop and go FDR Drive northbound in Manhattan by 96th Street with a collision. The right lane is closed. And now we have a problem in Staten Island eastbound on the expressway at Bradley Avenue. It looks like a wreck in the left lane and delays go all the way back to the Goethals Bridge. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound George, we're looking at 45 to both levels. Outbound getting better, 25 to 30. Inbound Lincoln is 40. Outbound 15, and inbound Holland is about a 30-minute wait. Now in New Jersey, northbound on the Turnpike north of Route 46 in Ridgefield, watch out for an accident. The right lane is blocked. Alternate side parking rules are in effect today citywide, and we do have some subway delays on the ACFNG trains. I'm Sue Eller. Next report at 8:51. 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
The City Buildings Department with a major investigation on its hands following yesterday's deadly garage collapse in Lower Manhattan. This was down on Ann Street.
There are at least 4 open violations that were being told about this building on Ann Street, but there's no way to know yet if they contributed to this tragedy. One was from 2003, listed as a failure to maintain the building. Another 2009, a lone piece of concrete loose and in danger of falling at this now 100-year-old building that is now being deemed completely unstable. Here's Mayor Adams as to the use of technology yesterday.
I do want to point out that, thank God, we had the robotic dog that was able to go in the building. This is ideally what we talk about, not sending a human being inside a building that's unstable.
As residents recover from the trauma, Pace University students the same. They are allowed back into the residence hall and classes resuming as normal, except for those being held at 161 William Street. That's too close to the collapse zone. Those classes will be remote only. Glenn Shuck, 1010 Wins, 92.3 FM in Lower Manhattan.
Well, a residential building on the block also impacted.
Sandy Imhoff was in her living room when the garage collapsed. How did you know something was wrong?
Well, they had been doing work off and on. There's like a lot of loud pounding, and you could kind of hear some kind of crumbly sounds first.
The collapse left a gaping hole in Imhoff's brick wall, so big one of the cars was visible through it. Her neighbor Christine Yu helped Imhoff and her dog escape. Imhoff had to leave her cats behind. What did you see once you reached the street?
Just the fire escape ladder fire escape ladder that fell off the garage onto the sidewalk. And then we heard people across telling the guys in the garage to get out.
You didn't know when or if she'd be allowed to get back in. Marla Diamond, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM at the scene of the collapse on Ann Street.
Today's the day we should hear from the highest court in the land on whether the abortion drug mifepristone, which has been on the market for 23 years, should remain available while the legal challenges play out. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum with his take on this.
The simplest thing for the Supreme Court to do is place a stay on both the decisions of the appellate and trial courts, thereby maintaining the status quo before the trial judge disallowed the FDA's approval of the abortion pill. That would give the appellate court time to hear argument and reach their own conclusion as to whether courts have the authority to second-guess the scientists at the FDA.
While the appellate court said mifepristone could remain on the market, it reimposed pre-2016 restrictions on the drug. That included reverting the prescription window from 10 weeks after conception down to 7 and banning mifepristone from being dispensed via mail. Jack Teixeira heading to court today. He's the 21-year-old Massachusetts Air National Guardsman who's charged with leaking highly classified military documents about the war in Ukraine. That hearing will decide whether he should remain behind bars while he awaits trial. On the day it was supposed to go to trial, Fox News agrees to write a gigantic check. This is the defamation case against the network for hosts repeatedly reporting that Dominion voting machines had flipped 2020 votes from Donald Trump to Joe Biden when the network knew that was not true.
Lawyers for Dominion Voting Systems celebrated their settlement with Fox News.
Today's settlement of $787,500,000 represents vindication and accountability. Lies have consequences.
Dominion had been seeking $1.6 billion in damages from Fox for defamation, arguing the company knew the claims of election fraud aired by their guests and some of their hosts were false.
That's correspondent Scott McFarland. For its part, Dominion says they're not done yet. Attorney Davita Brooke.
My client, Dominion Voting Systems, has multiple other lawsuits that they are litigating relating to the lies that were told about them in 2020, including against Newsmax, One America, and various other individuals,
including former Trump lawyers Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell. Today marks the 30th anniversary of the deadly ending to a standoff between the U.S. government and members of a cult in Waco, Texas.
Every year on April 19th, the curious come to the place where nearly 100 followers of David Koresh died on this date in 1993.
I feel it's divine intervention.
Paul Fata still considers himself a member of the Branch Davidian.
Why isn't this going away? Maybe God wants to keep this in the minds and hearts of people to remember what happened. Remember the people.
He spent 13 years in prison on weapons charges related to his activities with the group. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Waco, Texas.
Well, the members of that cult had been holed up for 51 days inside the compound. The ATF agents were trying to serve a search warrant on suspicion that they were stockpiling illegal weapons. Partly sunny skies now. We're at 46 degrees. We're headed up to 65. It's going to be a breezy day today. Zipping ahead in this forecast, Saturday should be really good. Partly sunny and 75 for the big event in Central Park. We're talking about the Parkinson's Unity Walk. Spokeswoman Maymay Ali tells 1010 Wins.
It's a nice, peaceful walk, mild walk. They have information booths there, so you can get all this information that's needed for the person with Parkinson's, the family members, caregivers. You speak to industry and professional representatives. You have local and national organizations that you can kind of get resources from.
She says staying up to date on the latest info was key in helping treat her father, the late boxing great Muhammad Ali. Money raised from Saturday's walk, by the way, will be matched up to $1 million. This is courtesy of Michael J. Fox Foundation donors, Connie and Steve Ballmer. You can register or donate at unitywalk.org. A happy tale in Bridgeport, where social media is to thank for saving a shelter dog.
Lucky Leo is getting a forever home. Earlier this month, the 5-year-old black pit bull was likely going to be put down. The rescue dog was depressed after 3 years kept mostly in a kennel because he didn't get along well with other dogs. But otherwise, he is said to be a big mush. Jocelyn Baum with the Bridgeport Animal Rescue Crew made a social media plea. It went viral, close to 30,000 shares. Leo is getting adopted, and he's moving to Wallingford.
people saw that we were really trying to be transparent and put it all out there and address the consequences of using the term euthanasia and really address the reality of what the dog is going through. And I think people were able to empathize with that.
She adds there is a dog just like Leo waiting in every shelter. The rescue crew actually has another pit bull, a female named Malone. Sean Adams, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. A quick one as I stop in here at McDonald's for some breakfast. All right, we'll see you on the next Driving and the News. I'll have a Egg McMuffin today. All right, guys, take care.